Hello and welcome to this session in which we will keep working with the review engagement, and specifically in this session we would look at using professional judgment to evaluate result. At this point we established an understanding with the client, obtained the sufficient knowledge about the company and the industry, perform analytical procedures, inquiries, other procedures. We obtain a rep letter, we have everything. What do we need to do now? Assess whether the findings indicate any material misstatement. Simply put, make a judgment to just get ready to do what? To issue the results, to communicate the results. In this session, we'll focus specifically on what's needed and how do you evaluate those results. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com.
Hello, my name is Farhat. You are here because you are either an accounting student, a finance student, or someone who's studying for their CMA or CPA exam. Great. You are looking for some additional help, and we can help you. I strongly encourage you to visit my website, farhatlectures.com. I offer additional lectures, resources, including PowerPoint slides, multiple choice questions, in some circumstances, exercises, and true-false questions. Our material is aligned with your CPA review courses, with your CMA review courses, with your college courses. I offer a risk-free trial that you can try to find out whether my website can help you or not. If you find it helpful, you subscribe, you keep your subscription. If not, you cancel and your risk is free. If you like this recording, if you like my lectures, you would like what's on the website, give me a chance to help you with your college courses as well as professional certification. I hope to see you on the website.
First, you want to use your professional judgment. So your expertise, your knowledge. Review engagement require the accountant to use professional judgment when evaluating financial information to determine whether the review engagement meet the required standard. Now, if the procedures are not complete, or if the finding indicate potential misstatement, we have to carefully assess whether the engagement can be finalized and a report can be issued. What's an incomplete review? Well, a review is incomplete when the accountant is unable to perform necessary procedures. What are those necessary procedures? Mainly inquiries and analytical procedures, or obtain sufficient information. Did we get this information somewhere else to reach a conclusion? What happens if a review is not complete? We cannot issue a report if we cannot perform all the necessary procedure. So if a review cannot be completed, well, we would consider maybe issuing a compilation instead. Why? Because if I cannot do inquiries and analytical procedures, I can put the financial statement together, but I did not do those two, then it's going to go down to a compilation. Now keep in mind, you cannot go for an audit, right? Because if you cannot do a review, definitely you don't have evidence for an audit. So yes, you can, if they say, okay, well, issue a compilation report instead, okay? That will be acceptable. The accountant requests support and documentation for significant revenue transaction, but management fails to provide it and we don't know how this revenue is being recorded. With this information missing, the accountant cannot determine if revenue is proper. Since the review require limited assurance, the accountant cannot complete their procedure. They must withdraw because it's a significant account and we're not comfortable with it. Now, what are the form and content of the review documentation? In other words, documentation is what we keep track of. Why? What's the documentation for? When you have documentation, whether it's an audit or a compilation, or as an accountant, as a tax preparer, documentation are very important. First, you want to show the documentation to demonstrate you complied with the standard, you did your due diligence, and evidence that you did your work properly in this situation. To come up with your review report, you need to provide evidence. So what would the evidence look like? Well, the review documentation should be clear, complete, and structured. What should it include? Nature, timing, and extent of the review procedures performed. Review evidence obtained and its sources. Because remember, Think about 2-3 years down the road. You're sitting in a courthouse and someone is questioning you. Well, if you documented everything, it's easy to remember what you did and you have the evidence for it. Your conclusion, how did you come up with that conclusion? Names of individual who performed the procedure and the date who worked on these procedures. Who reviewed the work for quality control purposes? Well, documentation must be tailored to the engagement. The form and content should be customized based on the client's specific engagement needs. Different companies might have different documentation standard. Accountant may use documentation from prior engagement if relevant, but they must be updated to reflect current finding. So you could, use it as a template, basically. What should you do? You want to go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional procedures, look at additional lectures, multiple choice that will help you whether you are an accounting student or a CPA exam candidate. The best thing to do is invest in yourself. Good luck, study hard, and of course, stay safe.